Something else you said in all of this is, in my talk specifically, is how I was going against convention. And that seems to be something that's sort of important to creating a talk that works. I mean, you talk about a lot about how you feel like speeches and speakers generally fail because they're not invoking change. Do they always have to be speaking about sort of these big idea topics with this idea of change?
I absolutely want to provide you with an unqualified no. It does not need to have to be one of these big things. When someone opts into my list, over time, they'll automatically get a series of emails where I dissect a thing about one of the most popular TED Talks. And it might just be like a 500-word article. But that article has a little mini silver bullet at the end. And it's not this huge sweeping idea. It might just be a different strategy for how you put together a PowerPoint slide or something like that. And the other thing that I like to think about as an example is, like, a handful of years ago, I was doing some volunteer work at a hospital, reading books to children bedside. And the person who trained me gave me a very simple tip, is that you're knocking on a door that doesn't have a window and they don't know you when you're going to walk into the hospital room. And she said, hold up the book that you're about to read to them as a passport. It's basically a simple visual cue that lessens all of the tension around this stranger suddenly showing up in a vulnerable state. This is a hospital room. This is a vulnerable context. Mm-hmm. And so we can mine out, because that's just disrupting the way someone would typically knock on the door, which is just to open the door and say hi. But this holding, very deliberate and conscious holding up, is to say that I don't know what the silver bullet would be. It might be something like, we alleviate tension by creating as few questions about the situation as possible, or something like that. I mean, by holding up the passport, as she called it, we're removing a question. Why is this person in my doorway? And so that alleviates the tension. So do you see how that works? How it's just like a simple little tip of knocking on a door could lend itself to a silver bullet.